Thank you. Okay. So we're just going to call the meeting to order at 6:06 p.m. on Wednesday, December 9th. I'm just going to flip back and forth between my agenda here. Bear with me. We have regrets from Dustin Smith. And I think we have Brent connected. I'll just wait for him to confirm that he's here so Justine can change his screen. We have not had regrets from Brent. I'm pretty sure he... Okay, I apologize. Technical difficulties here at the town hall. So, are we all back? Okay, so the agenda, if there's nobody else has anything to add, if we're okay, we're going to move county economic development and tourism up in between, right after approval of the minutes, right after business arisings and before correspondence. That way she can give her report and then move on and we can continue with our business and make things work a little bit quicker and efficiently tonight. As well, we are going to put the BIA dollars under, sorry, Trish, I did say I was gonna leave that for you, but under new business, under item number 11, we will tuck the BIA budget, review in there. So if everyone's okay with those agenda changes, can I get a motion and a seconder? Bert and Steve, all in favor? We're good. Okay, perfect. All right, we'll move on. Pecuniary interest, and anyone finds themselves in a pickle as we move on here, please speak up. If you find as we move along in the minutes that you need to declare, please let me know, or Trish know. Approval of the, oops, sorry, I did that the wrong way. Sorry, guys. Approval of the minutes. Everyone had a look at November minutes? Any questions, concerns, anything to add or change on the minutes from anyone?
Looks good to me.
Seeing none, can I get a approval, seconder, and a motion, Heather, and a seconder? Steve? On the minutes, perfect. No business arising from the minutes? No, everybody's okay? All right, Ashley, let's move you up before we get into correspondence. There you are.
Hi, everyone. Let me just pull up my update. Okay, so as you guys have probably seen, and we thank the BIA for sharing, we launched our Take the Pledge campaign on November 12th. Take the Pledge asks people to fill an online form pledging to do at least 70% of their holiday shopping locally in Perth County. And everyone who enters is entered to win a $1,000 Perth County shopping spree. And I think I mentioned last meeting, our hope is to do $250 of that shopping spree will be Mitchell BIA bucks. And to date, we have 523 people who have taken a pledge. So we're really thrilled with those numbers. This Saturday is the last day to enter. And then on Monday, we're going to select our winner. The PC Connect bus system soft launched on November 16th and was followed by a official launch event on November 24th at the Stratford terminal to celebrate the much needed rural transportation system. In the first 2 weeks of service, the PC Connect bus system has had approximately 40 riders. So we're really happy with those numbers, given that we launched amid COVID, and beyond those 40 riders, there's been an overwhelming amount of interest and inquiries from residents throughout the county. Maggie's phone has been ringing off the hook, and we know that we're dedicated to providing as much educational resources as possible in order to really get the word out there about the system and inform residents about the routes, the fares, things like that. Right now during COVID, PC Connect is being promoted as a pre-booked service. So although the bus does run on a certain route each day, what we're encouraging is for people to first call the number, book their ride, and then wait at the bus stop just to guarantee that the bus will be there for them when they're hoping to get on. Fares are $6 for the Perth County routes and $12 for the longer routes that go outside of the county to places like London and Waterloo. However, until January 1st, all routes are 50% off. So right now it's super affordable, $3 for riding in county and $6 outside of the county. And there's lots of COVID-19 protocol being implemented, such as masks, sanitizing, training of staff, etc. And if you want to find out more about the system, you can go to perthcounty.ca/PC Connect, and all the information can be found on there, such as routes, things like that. And if you are following Perth County on Facebook, we have started doing a Transit Tuesday. So every Tuesday we're posting information about the service. Last BIA meeting, you guys met Clara, our digital service squad member, and Clara has been busy connecting with business owners and helping them apply for grants and improve their online presence. She's hoping to be in the Mitchell community a few times this week and next, and dropping in on businesses who may have not yet heard of her program to kind of give them the spiel and get some more people on board. The deadline for the 2,500 digital transformation grant, which is a huge part of what she's doing, is helping people apply for this, has been extended until the 15th. So she's hoping to get as many people in before that deadline as possible. A few other grants to be aware of are the Ontario Main Street Relief Grant offered by the province. It reimburses businesses for PPE purchases, and it's for businesses who have 2 to 9 employees, and they are in retail, accommodation and food services, repair and maintenance, or personal and laundry services. So you can get a one-time grant up to $1,000 by submitting your receipts. There's more details on that. I'm sending this information to Trish so she can share it with everyone. In addition, there's the FedDev Regional Relief and Recovery Fund, which can offer up to $40,000 in interest-free loans, including $10,000 forgivable, to assist with a variety of fixed and other operating costs. And to find more information on that, you can tell people to contact the Stratford Perth Center for Business. Our Farmgate Map project revamp is still underway. It will be until the spring. We are halfway through launching our new webpage. So if you go to perthcounty.ca/farmgate, you'll see it's under construction. And we're working in the background to get that updated. We've set a hard deadline of January 31st, 2021 for new Farmgate businesses who want to join the program to be featured on the hard copy map. So we accept businesses on an ongoing basis at any time. But if you want to be featured on the new map that gets mailed out, January 31st is the deadline. And this week we started delivering signage packages. So I think one West Perth business has it now in Bornholm Produce. So you'll continue to see the Discover More Flavor signage pop up around the county over the next few months. We've been doing some business check-in calls. So instead of doing another survey, because we recognize people are kind of getting that survey fatigue this deep into COVID. We just picked up the phone and started calling people to see how people are doing and what's going on. So we've connected with 35 businesses across the county in sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, retail, food service, hospitality, and transportation. And the data collected from these conversations is going to help us drive our programming throughout the winter. Last item, you may have saw on our Facebook page today that Perth County is the recipient of $45,000 through the OMAFRA RED program to implement a Perth County Certified Experiences program. So we're going to be launching this in the new year. We're not sure quite yet if it's going to be something virtual or if we'll have the opportunity to do something in person, depending on how the pandemic is at that time. But we're hoping to work directly with businesses that welcome visitors to help them curate experiences, kind of extend visitor stays, help them in the shoulder seasons, find new revenue streams, things like that. So you can watch for that coming out in 2021. That was a lot, but that's all I've got. Does anyone have any questions or comments for me? Okay, and thank you for moving me out further in the agenda. Like Sherry said, I might hop off after the municipal update and let you guys chat about the other business. Thanks, guys.
Sorry, thank you, Ashley. Lots going on. Okay. Correspondence. Trish, do we have any correspondence?
No, I got a letter from the treasurer today that we can cover off under BIA Bucks.
Perfect. Okay. Do you want to touch on the financial report then, Trish?
Sure.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. Can everyone see that spreadsheet okay? So there hasn't been many expenses since our last meeting, aside from wages, and then there was one expense to the Mitchell Advocate. Here I've just listed out, we did run some ads in the Advocate from the end of October to prospectively the end of December. So these are the dates that the ad has ran, the size of the ad, and then what I ran the ad for. So these items were all based on what the board approved last meeting. So our advertising budget, we have about $2,900 left. And then this $1,657.71, which is the ads after tax, haven't hit our budget yet because we don't have the invoice from Post Media yet. So just so you're aware, there's $1,657 outstanding in advertising. Also for advertising, you had given me approval to do the cable TV ads with the figures that I was given. When I reached out to cable TV to put these ads in place at $125 a slide per month, she had informed me that they're no longer charging businesses to run ads anymore. And since these were community events or community related events, we weren't charged for those ads. So the Find the Gnomes are running on the screen from November 13th to December 13th. And then the BIA Bucks ran for November 9th to the 30th. So I'm wondering if you would like me to reach out again to maybe get another ad for BIA Bucks on there. I don't know that they can run it for a month, but their typical standard is 1 to 2 weeks, she said. So I can get another ad in the works there if you'd like.
Is that for the cable TV, Trish?
Yeah, that was cable TV.
I would do it if you could, please.
Yeah. Sure.
If that has to be a motion, I'll make that motion.
I don't think so, because we already made the motion to spend the money.
Okay.
We just didn't end up spending it. So we're just sort of giving her direction to try to spend it.
Yeah,
when is the gnome promotion over?
Christmas Eve.
So then we don't need that December 30th.
Oh, correct.
So no, the the December 30th quarter page ad is going to be the Find the Gnome winners. So you
Winners.
guys,
Oh, right,
yeah,
right.
you wanted to list the names.
Yeah, that's right.
But the only, so this kind of jumps into my work plan a little bit, is the November 30th cutoff usually is the Thursday, Friday before, but because it's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, the cutoff is actually Wednesday, the 23rd. So I'm wondering if we maybe want to bump this quarter page ad till January 6th, which is the following Wednesday. I know it kind of eats into next year's budget, but that, or I pick up the Gnome a day or two earlier, and it's just not at the last business.
I
for a
don't
week.
think it, yeah, I don't think it makes any difference if it's in January. That
Okay.
should be fine.
Can you
Okay,
just
so-
pay, can you just prepay the bill so that the bill's paid by the end of the month?
I
Doesn't
don't,
matter that it runs in January?
I don't think so, but
I'm going to suggest we just accrue the money for 2020 and then just pay the bill in 2021.
I
I'll
can ask
just-
that.
Yeah, I'll just mention to you as a little bit of assistance there that we'll still be in our 2020 year end, so that won't be a problem.
Perfect. Thank you. So then that will hit. So I think that's really all I have for the financial report. Are there any questions on anything? Okay. Perfect. Now, am I going in? You're on mute, sorry.
Yeah, we might as well go right on into the BIA coordinator work plan.
Okay.
Please. Thanks.
Okay, so today's work plan is again a little bit what you've been seeing the last couple months, but revised. So BIA Bucks Christmas promotion, it started on the 26th in $10 denominations. To date, the BIA Bucks that we've sold have been $38,050 in BIA Bucks. And then of that money, the 10% expense that goes into our account is $4,111. I know the numbers look a little funny. That's why underneath I've explained that it's a little bit above the 10 because there's the 10% that the BIA covers. There was a liability cost to start up. And then in that $4,111 is the $800 that the BIA is actually donating in our giveaways for the Find the Gnome and the 2 window display contests. So that's another budget item of where we sit. Last meeting, we had agreed that we would extend the promotion until January 31st with the 10% off, which finance was aware of that possibility. The next piece is the pop-up sale. We had talked about potentially doing sales downtown. So I reached out to Steve and he's happy to lend that Value Mart entrance there when you first walk in the double doors. On Saturdays, I would need to confirm when we're doing it, but I would like to know if we're still interested in hosting these pop-up sales. And if so, it would be a cash only process. I would have the tracking spreadsheet on hand so that we could match up the number on the BIA buck with the person that bought it, ensuring that, you know, we stick to our 250 per person. And if someone wants to come sit with me and assist that. So that's one thing I would like to know if the board would like to pursue. And the second thing is I was asked about seeing as our sales are going to go till January 31st on the BIA bucks. Did the board want to extend the redemption side of it so that more businesses can, or sorry, more shoppers can get their name into the draw for the grand prize of $250? So it used to be that you would sell until December 31st, and then they had until January 31st, I think it was, to get entered into the draw, and then it would be done in February. But now because we've kind of bumped it.
I would suggest that if we're extending the sales to the end of January, redemptions to the end of February, and try and have our draw by mid-March.
Which would work, I think, in the sense of March would be our AGM. So that would probably be a good time to have that draw.
And also, Trish, what did we budget for BIA bucks sold for this year?
So $5,000 is, so the 10% on our budget line is $5,000. And 4,111 of that was
So
released.
basically $50,000 worth of BIA dollars.
Yeah.
So, okay, we got a bit of room there to move yet, so.
There's still some wiggle room. And again, we're, second week into December. So plus there's going to be some extra money in advertising if you have to pull from somewhere else.
Yep.
I had a question, but I think we can talk about it when we get down to the BIA bucks in our other business. So move on.
Okay, so if we're interested, so we are interested in doing the pop-up sale at Value Mart.
Sure, it'd just be a matter of being able to help you.
Right.
I can help you.
Okay, I know you mentioned that before you would be interested, Heather. So I'll just reach out to the board as a whole with dates and times and Steve and make sure that he's okay with those, and then we'll get that piece rolling. Okay, so there's no questions about this slide right now. Okay, so the next one I want to touch base on quickly is just the seasonal displays. So the fall Halloween winner was Floral Treasures and Boutique. And what she did is she split the winnings of $50 into 5 draw prizes that they did at their store. So they put little baskets together so that 5 people got to receive a little extra treat. Sorry?
Oh, just neat.
The Christmas displays are to be completed by this Friday, December the 11th, and then the winner would be announced the following Friday. I've only heard from 3 businesses that are decorated and going to be entered. However, there are a ton of businesses downtown that have actually decorated for Christmas. So I think I'm going to send out an email just to check to see if anybody else wants to participate and maybe just hasn't emailed me yet. So that list could grow. And then the last one here, the Shop Local Christmas event, again, is the 6 weeks, November 13th to the 24th. Grand prize draw the weekly draw is $50, grand prize $250. I ended up getting 9 businesses to participate, which was 1 more than what I reported last month. And there's 2 clues per week on Facebook. Trying to help people find them. And then there's been the ads in the Mitchell Advocate and then the slide on the cable TV. So where have the gnomes been so far? So those are where they were, week 1, 2, and 3. Week 4 and 5, there's 2 gnomes that'll be out. And then week 6 is just going to be 1 gnome, so that I just have to go to 1 place on Christmas Eve. So that's my report for now. Any questions, anything I've missed that's come up? Anything else?
Doesn't seem like it. Thank you, Trish.
Good.
You've been busy. Great. Okay, municipal. Move on to Jeff.
Okay, thanks. Good evening, everyone. I have a few updates I want to give you, and I'll quickly run through them. First, I want to mention one of the biggest projects that will be on everyone's radar if you've read the paper today or read the online news over the weekend, is that Council has made a decision on the administration office of the municipality. And I'll just mention that we've done quite a bit of building condition assessment work on this administration office. And in 2012, we got a detailed report that identified significant condition issues, including building systems, air handling, and accessibility. And if any of you have been here, I think in all those 3 cases, you wouldn't argue. A process to revisit this 2012 condition assessment was initiated in 2017. The consultant reported to council in 2018, and we also had a public meeting in 2018 to present the results of options for the building and the fire hall and the site that we're on here. This led to a decision by council to move forward with the fire hall build as a priority, but council recognized at that time that the significant concerns with building systems had to be attended to in the near future. Several major building systems are well past their useful life, and We haven't had a failure, but I'm going to just say the roof, the boilers, the HVAC, major systems, and they're integrated systems. So in other words, if the roof went, the problem becomes that replacing the roof is one expense, but there's the related expense of, do you put old HVAC that's 15 years past its useful life onto a new roof? And you very quickly get into several issues. And I want to mention the biggest one is accessibility. So the building continues to be non-compliant for basic accessibility. And I want to give the update that the fire hall project is very near completion. We expect delivery next week. It's on time and on budget. We found out a couple weeks ago that West Perth is eligible for a grant that is for COVID resiliency. It's got a very narrow limit of eligibility, but we do the rebuild or renovation of the administration office is we still have to apply, but and it's not a big percentage of this project, but the new build is our highest priority project. Our rebuild is, or renovation is our highest priority project. So staff asked council if they would consider making a decision so we know where we're headed and start the process. This went to a special council meeting, and council has decided that they would prefer the new build option over the renovation option. I'll mention to the BIA members in attendance that the renovation option is a preliminary cost estimate of $3.43 million for 14,000 square feet, which includes offices, vault space, and it includes some community space in it, the way it's been designed. We obviously would have to go through a design process. The renovation option is approximately $1 million more for 12,000 square feet of usable space, which is still functionally limited by the structural layout of the building and where the permanent walls are. So if you look at those options, the renovation option is quite a bit more expensive and has more unknowns. And the staff recommendation was that we consider new build, and then we make a decision on this piece of real estate once we get the new office built and in it. Council's decision was to move forward with the new build option to apply for the grant. And this starts the process in motion. The receipt of building estimates and detailed design and options for this building and options for any other buildings that we have in the community that we might be able to make surplus if we built space into this building will come in the next number of months. And we anticipate getting the design completed and then moving into a tendering mode where we would tender for construction. And again, council would have to decide at that time about going ahead. And if they are going to capture the grant, we would have to be shovel in the ground by September. So I know it's a lot of detail, but I want to share with you that it is a big decision for West Perth. I would suggest to you that it's a decision that's long overdue, but I also recognize that it's a very difficult decision to make, to invest in ourselves. We're really good at investing in our roads and investing in our other infrastructure. And we've kind of been reluctant to invest in this building, and we've reached a point where we need to invest or we're going to have some significant costs. So at the point where we get questions, I'll be happy to answer if there's any questions about that. I'll mention 3 other projects very quickly. The electric vehicle charging project, I expect to be installed any day now. We have the agreement in place for it to be there now with Earth. And I thought it was going to go in November, but it should be any day. The fire hall, as I said, is on time and on budget. We anticipate getting the keys next week. We likely will have open houses in the spring when we're fully moved in and the weather's cleaned up, and hopefully COVID provides more flexibility then. And finally, and I'm sure you're all aware of this, but it's another good news story I like to tell to anybody that'll make eye contact with me, that we have the Henry Street Bridge open. I think the trail connection and the bridge connection is outstanding, and the slope and the grade and the massing of that bridge looks fantastic. and something for us to really be proud of. So with that, those are my updates, and I'd be happy to take any questions if there are any.
Did the guys recommending the renovation remind them the building was at least condemned once
Yeah.
prior to
So-
council moving?
Yeah, it's a great question, Bert. And the building was built in 1924. It was abandoned by the school board in 1957. The municipality moved in 1960. We've stayed almost twice as long as the school found use for it. But
And it
it
was
is
abandoned when the
still,
school left.
well, and it is still a difficult decision because it's a big investment, and but it has really reached its useful life.
It's a good decision to make. It's about time.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback, and it's been a difficult one, but it needs to be made.
Yeah, I agree with the decision as well. Just wondering, Jeff, will there be any public consultation? Because everybody will tell you what you should have did after you got it built.
Yeah, great question, Steve. So, and when we debated this at council, there was a tremendous amount of opportunity of opinions and ideas offered for design. So we have a building committee with 4 members, and I expect that we'll use them to kind of get some design concepts together. And I think we'll come back to council. I expect that through the public process of council, there'll be an opportunity for public input, but I don't believe we'll have an open house with boards displayed. And I'm saying that mainly because we have to hit the shovel in the ground date or we don't get the grant. And again, it's only $160,000 out of a $3.4 million project, but if we don't get that grant for that project, it's gone.
Yeah.
When's the move-in date, Lynn? 2022 sometime?
I expect that technically we should be substantially complete at the end of 2021 by the grant deadline, but we're anticipating an extension on that. There's a lot of lobbying going on. But I don't think we would be much off of that, maybe 3 months. So perhaps March of 2022.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty quick build then.
And I want to say, you know, my background is all in the business of risk management. That's my training, and that's what my career leading up until I came here was. And I'm telling you, we're running a lot of risk by operating this system with building systems that are, this building has systems that are well past their date of replacement, and we've not replaced them. And
You're
frankly,
in the worst room in the whole building. So, I mean, really.
well, and you know, I want to say it's not any disrespect to the past staff and councils. I think the issue is just we had to make a decision. Is it renovate or build new? And we finally reached the point where we've made that decision. The path is now much clearer. So thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it.
Any other questions for Jeff? Nope. Lots of decisions, lots going on this year, that's for sure. For a COVID year, we've certainly made a lot of decisions. Okay, so other business, virtual concerts. Unfortunately, Dustin has not able to make our meeting tonight and do a report. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach out to Dustin and ask him just to shoot us all a little email as to where he's at, what his thoughts are. You know, we sort of left it in his hands. It is his area of expertise. I'll ask him if maybe the family day weekend would be a good weekend. Does everybody think that was sort of what we were shooting out? Maybe family day weekend as a potential date. So I'll shoot that. I'll see if he'll just shoot us all a little email, see if he's got some ideas and where he's at on that. Trish, do you want to report on the code of conduct training, or do you want me to?
Whatever is easier for you. I can if you want.
You've got it there. Tired of listening to me.
Okay. I don't know that I have it up in front of me here. Just one second.
Sorry, I can get it then. Got it? Did everyone get that email?
Yes.
Everyone got the email about the code of conduct meeting? Okay, go ahead.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's just something that all subcommittees and council members need to take. So it's, sorry.
Bless you. Bless you.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was
here. So it's just a training on the code of conduct that, again, all subcommittees and council members need to take. So it's a special meeting that the mayor has called on Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. And that the integrity commissioner is going to go through. So again, West Perth Council, the Mitchell BIA, the West Perth Police Services, and the library members as well. So
I do believe did you say economic development already? I think they're involved as well, ECDev.
that would make sense. They're not on this email here, but that would make sense too. Yeah. So, oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What if we can't
You
make
didn't
it?
need to hear me. I was just musing out loud.
Okay.
A must attend
Yep.
or?
Sorry, Jeff's
So-
waving his hand at us because
Yeah.
we're incorrect.
Yeah, no problem. No, I'm not actually. Board member Bert Vostenbush has asked what happens if you can't make it. And so we would encourage you to attend if you can. We will be looking at options for a follow-up session. And so we think you'll get a lot out of it, but we'll look at options for a follow-up session to pick up those that we can't pick up, but want to get as many as we can this time.
Yeah, no, I replied to Carla and I don't think I ever got a response back if there was a secondary date, but.
Okay.
But this wouldn't be impact of something happened in the Wilmot area, would it?
So actually, no, you know what? It's a great, there's certainly some activity around this, and it can be very embarrassing for a municipality, frankly, and it can be very embarrassing for the people who are councillors or board members to get out of compliance with the code of conduct. So it's a good thing to remind councils and board members about, to help you, and also to let you know the resources you have available to you.
I was just curious because
Yeah,
they've
I
had,
know.
I'm right next door to one of the counselors in
Yeah,
New Hamburg, so it's been a
and I would just-
conversation piece.
I would just mention that this training we had online for earlier this year, and we actually want to do it in March. And of course, we all know we saw it coming and we kind of held off on booking it. And now, of course, COVID was a lot worse than we thought. So here we are now.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just to reiterate, Jeff, then, I mean, it would be nice to have everybody attend, and then I can follow up with Carla just to ask if there's another day potentially, just to throw that out there and see if she has something in the works, but ideally try to get on Monday.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I realize it's short notice, but it's important, I think, for all of us to learn a little bit more in that area. Okay, so now we're going to go on and invite our treasurer, who's been patiently waiting for us, Angela. Did everyone have a chance to, so that she doesn't have to reread her letter? Has everyone had a chance to read the letter that she sent us? Explaining it, laying it out so that we all understand.
Letter about what?
It was sent in the email that Trish sent with this link. There was a letter. If you look across the top, your agenda, your minutes, there's a letter explaining the process from our treasurer. A really well detailed letter. Find it?
And may I suggest that perhaps Angela could share her screen and
Yeah.
just quickly hit
that's
the
a
high
great
points.
idea. That's a great idea.
If you can, Angela, but if you even have it, poor Angela, welcome aboard.
Angela, I
By
do
fire.
have it if you want me to share it.
Okay, yeah. I can just give a quick summary of what it said as well. When TD pulled support, we did talk with our bank at the municipality, and we were advised that most of the banks won't do these programs. I think they were getting inundated with them, and it was a lot of administrative work associated with these programs. So the answer was no from all of them. So we did take a few steps to try and make this more successful. We increased our AP processing to weekly. We would normally just do this bi-weekly, just we have one person that does this along with utility billing and accounts receivable and many other functions. We just developed yesterday an electronic signature process, so smaller checks don't require 2 physical people. I've noticed since COVID, it's been really difficult to try and get those 2 people in here to sign them in a timely fashion. The other one is we started offering e-transfer reimbursement. However, we are doing this for the BIA solely. In terms of this, it was there's three options. So EFT and checks are processed weekly on Wednesdays. We encourage you to get them in as early as possible on Wednesday morning, just because, you know, we receive a few late Wednesday afternoon and we kind of have to go back and redo a process, but that's not been too big of a deal. E-transfers as well, we can process them right away. So as soon as I receive them, I've saved the link on my browser and it takes me probably 5 minutes to send an e-transfer. So it's not ideal for everybody, but it's an option out there. And then I included my contact information. So if you do need to contact me, feel free to do so. That's my summary, but if anybody has any questions for me, or
And open it up to questions. Anybody have questions or concerns now that we have Trish here to answer them directly for us?
So this has changed since when we initially started the program?
it hasn't actually changed since TD dropped the program, but I just laid it out as clear as possible.
Okay, I can hardly hear you.
Can everybody else hear me?
No, you're coming in and out, Angela, a little bit. Yeah, it is a bit.
Okay. I'm not sure what to do about that. It kicked me out a couple times already, and I've had to log back in.
Probably just your internet connection.
Yeah.
I'm at the municipal office.
Welcome to the country.
Okay, from my understanding is that obviously this goes back to the incident that I had last Wednesday, where I took Baybex back and we filled out the form saying that we'd pick up a check. So when did e-transfer come part of it?
E-transfer has been part of it since the very beginning.
Okay, now I'm just relying on what my bookkeeper told me, and we just said we'd pick up a check. So
on the form, it says check, EFT, and then e-transfer as well.
okay,
But that was our error in that situation because we didn't mail it and it was supposed to be picked up. So that was
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I still, whatever it has to be, it's got to be a 24-hour turnaround. Whether it's check, whether it's cash, whether it's e-transfer or whatever the businesses want is what has to happen. I agree with what Sherry said. Can we not have a float at the front desk, et cetera, something like that going on?
We have eliminated petty cash at all of our locations. It's essentially a bookkeeping nightmare. And if we don't have backup for it, we can't account for the money. And if money goes missing and it's BIA related, I have to answer to you guys. And you know, it's not easy to rely upon. So we have eliminated that. Everybody has a corporate visa. We do everything electronic. So.
It's what we expected.
We have to answer to our auditors as well, and we are dealing with every dollar as public money. So we need to be able to account.
When we started this program, Trish, did you ever check in with the town city of Strathroy, see what they're doing? Because we copied this program from them. They were using the TD Bank, and that's how come we went to the TD Bank. We have any update what they're doing?
So I wasn't asked to follow up with another BIA on the reimbursements, but I'd be happy to reach out to other locations. Originally, yes, one of the board members that sat on this board worked at TD Bank. Yeah. And so she went to the corporate office and got a plan in place. Since she has retired, people have changed. And I mean, I've been the coordinator for about 2.5 years now, and I've gone to 3 different people in those 2.5 years over this program. It always, every year, seems to be a confusion. And the process changes in there. And I'm not sure why. So I know that TD did drop it due to COVID not having the flow of people in there. It's a huge liability to them because they're debiting and crediting our account with no signatures on file. There's no process in place. So again, I feel like that is because of it changing hands so much over the years. They had said that like their corporate office wasn't aware of the program, but the program couldn't run if corporate wasn't aware. So I asked, the first thing I did was I said to Angela, could we reach out to the municipality's bank? Because then it would be like for like. We wouldn't even be having the discussion of doing reimbursements here. It would just be like for like, get another bank to pick it up. And unfortunately, no bank wants to pick it up because it is an auditing nightmare in a sense, and the liability is pretty large. So I'd be happy to reach out to other locations. I do know the Stratford City Center has an employee for the city that works for a couple departments, and then she does the transactions for the Stratford City Center BIA. So again, it's the same process that we have now. We just don't have one dedicated person because it doesn't make sense. But
the only reason we took it to the TD Bank is because Joy Sight, who worked there, said, you know, she talked to the corporate office and they were familiar with the program because the TD Bank in Strathroy was doing it. And that's the only reason we did. They, like, at that time, it was a no-brainer. Like, they said, sure, go ahead. We're aware of the program with Strathroy, and we were just more or less mirroring their program, other than, you know, a lot less dollars.
I just think we
Right.
need to reach out to the other BIAs and see the ones that are doing it, because I know what you see, but I have a feeling this is what they said. All the banks are backing away from it. So I think we just have to reach out and see what the other ones are doing.
Yeah, just because the banks are backing away from it doesn't mean that it's right.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say it's right, but neither some of the stuff we're doing now, but we won't get into that conversation.
Jeff?
I just want to make a couple points to the BIA on this, because I appreciate that it's not as smooth as it was when the bank was running, was assisting it with us. And, you know, I hope you all can appreciate that having a bank with dedicated tellers and a vault and processes obviously was ideal. It's not as handy for us as staff. And I want to say, though, that, you know, we didn't want to see the program fail this year. We're also dealing with everything we're dealing with COVID and budget, compressed budget deadlines and things. And so we're going to do our best, but I would really strongly encourage that the program be reviewed early in the new year, now that we feel we don't have a bank partner and maybe won't be getting a bank partner back. And this idea of reaching out to other BIAs is a great idea. Without having a full-time BIA person to run a program like this, it's leaning pretty heavy on municipal resources, that we want to see the BIA be successful, but you're squeezing us. And you know, it's not lost on me that if Mitchell BIA is doing well, West Perth's doing well, but we got a lot going on, and we're going to get it through this year, but we got to figure out how we do it in future years.
So that was going to be my suggestion. Sorry, that was going to be my suggestion, is that without putting a lot of time constraint on Angela, because I know she has budget coming up and all that. And if she was sitting beside me, she'd probably kick me under the table right now. But what if we have Trish and her, as there's time, work out a plan to bring to our AGM? Just, you know, between Trish reaching out to some other BIAs and the Treasurer's Department's expertise in this area, how the municipality can make it smooth and, well, never effortless, but as easy as possible. And we bring a plan to the AGM and we revamp the BIA to make it a little smoother. Does that sound like a time frame that we can work with? Because AGM's in April or March. Trish, I don't know. I don't want to put a lot of work on you, but.
Yeah. Did someone talk to the credit union?
What's that, Brent?
Did someone talk to the credit union?
Trish, go ahead. Or not Trish, Anna, sorry.
Okay. I have talked to people at the credit union, not specifically about this program, but the credit unions are suffering during COVID. We have heard that quite a bit. Like, the big banks are doing really well, and the credit unions are starting to pull back, and they're eliminating interest and items like that on some accounts. I think that they wouldn't be as keen on supporting it, but it's an option because sometimes the credit unions are more community oriented as well.
Yeah, like, we deal with Libro and Listowel for the Listowel money. So I was just wondering, like, did somebody approach your neighborhood credit union? And because they're always willing to help with community stuff and they're very community focused, I'm wondering if they'd have more get up and go than the big banks.
So why don't we leave Trish and Ange to sort of work through that and talk to the credit union and talk to some other BIAs, see what they're doing, and we can maybe work through a plan in time for our, we'll limp through it this year. I think the information that Ange has given us, just puts it in black and white for us. It's all right there. We know what they're dealing with behind the scenes. We know what we need to do. It gives us as a board, excuse me, the right verbiage to use to help guide the businesses along to make this work for now. And then we revisit it at our AGM and we see if we can come up with a solid plan that works maybe a little bit smoother. But everyone's open to ideas, whatever you guys think.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is it's got to work for the BIA first. Everybody's hiding behind COVID as far as I'm concerned, businesses, banks, whoever, and they're using that as an excuse to get out of a lot of programs. I've seen it within my own business and things like that, and I fight them every day. I'm fighting you guys now on this too. COVID can't be an excuse anymore. We just got to learn how to adapt, and once again, we got to go what's right for the businesses on this, because obviously, like I said, no business go with IOUs in their safe balances where their employees see stuff like that. It's got to be quick redemption.
And so just to reiterate too, the EFT and e-transfer option is something that Angela stressed to me from the beginning. And I stressed to businesses when I went around door to door with a flyer and brought to the board that that's a huge thing. She turns it around next day. So I think that's,
well, that's fine. Then why do we have the option of a check on our sheet then? If we want to go EFT, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Let's put it in there as the only option.
well, but some businesses might not take e-transfer or EFT. So to have the check option available
And that's what I chose.
Pardon?
And that's what I chose.
Yep. So just above the check option is the EFT or e-transfer. So you just pick whatever one you'd like. EFT and e-transfer are next day, which again is not a process that they used to have, but they do now to help us. Check can be mailed or picked up. And I think it was just an accidental error that it got thrown in with the mail versus being left at the desk.
Yeah, but I also left a voicemail last Friday for somebody to contact me, which was Angela, and nobody contacted me about the issue. That's what really pissed me off about everything.
Guys, for taking.
Yeah, but we need to be appreciative of the municipality, because without them, we wouldn't even have this program. And Angela is doing this out of the municipality budget, and it's not really their job. It's our BIA job. And I said from the beginning, we should have had one of the stores do it, or we should have had one of the credit unions do it, and nobody wanted to vote behind that. So now we've got the program that we got, and we're stuck with it. So we can't really bitch about it because this is what you voted for. So let's just move on. We should be appreciative that the municipality took it and move on, and next year get a bank partner. And that's our own fault because that's how we voted.
No, we're never going to get a bank partner, but the catch is the BIA is part of the municipality. The budget's our budget. It's not the town's budget.
How do you know we're not going to get a bank partner, Bert? You're just being cocky and condescending. You don't know.
No, I'm just going by what the banks have said already. So I could be
You
wrong.
don't know everything, Bert. You don't know everything.
Guys,
You can't say.
Trish will
guys.
find out when she contacts them.
Guys, let's move on from this topic about a bank. We have agreed to leave it with Trish and Ange at this point to contact, so we don't need to have any more discussion on the bank partnering. We'll discuss that at the AGM. We'll hopefully, maybe the credit union will pick it up, so we won't argue about whether they will or won't, because we won't know till they reach out
No,
and find
until
out.
he asks.
So what we're going to do is we're going to try to move on with what we've got and hopefully make a program that works a little bit smoother. We had no idea that the TD was going to dump us.
No,
Really,
were
if we
able to
had
do
known
quick
and had some
we made it
time.
work.
Yeah, and it is, you are correct, it is our budget. It is our businesses that we answer to directly. I'm very glad that Ange has given us a written out, we all have the right verbiage now. We all understand it in black and white, blue and white on the paper that Ange has given us to give us the program. So I understand that we're all limping along with it right now, and it's not ideal, but it's what we've got. Putting it in a
We had to do with the
business,
time.
putting it in a business again opens us up to liability. Same thing as having cash at the front desk here at the municipal office. So, again, that can be part of a plan that comes back to us at our AGM that we discuss again and more further at that point. So, Angie, go ahead and jump in. I see her.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's like, we can't really restructure how we do everything at the municipality for a 4-month program. Like, it's busy.
Well, it's a year-round program. Like, this isn't going to go away after Christmas.
No, but the process of
Transactions is wildly different in November, December, and January. and maybe February. But the rest of them, it's like 2 or 3 a month. I do all of the bank reconciliations and
Yeah.
so
Well, see, we're hoping to get it more robust. It just happens to be something we've always done now. We're trying to make sure it goes year round. So the idea to me is that it not just specifically for Christmas.
And same as any business, you adapt to what's happening within your business. And if you're busy in the later part of the year, so you're busier. It makes up for the times when you're not busier.
Anyway, move
Well,
on.
you're
Let's
laughing
go.
about it, so.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody constructive would like to add? Thoughts for Trish as she moves forward with any other BIAs? Any other places that you know of that are using it? Like Listowel, you can reach out to Listowel, although we know now they're using Libro for their money.
Yeah, and I have a contact at the Exeter BIA. I've worked with her before, so I'm gonna aim to reach out to the smaller town ones because I feel like we can relate to them versus bigger city centers. But I'll kind of get a feel from, you know, a bunch of different BIAs, and I'll work with Angela to contact the other banks downtown, and we'll go from there.
And for now, am I on? Yeah. For now, we limp through with what we have. It's not ideal. I recognize Brent's sentiment here. He is correct. The municipality jumped on board. We had no idea TED was dumping it on, like literally almost the day of, was it not, Trish? That
it was 2 hours
Literally,
before
yeah.
our meet. It was 2 hours before our meeting, and I asked them if we could have a like a transition period to say, you'll still reimburse businesses for the next 2 weeks so I can work out a plan. They were not working with me on that. So literally 2 hours before the meeting, program was dropped. They're not selling them, and they're not even going to reimburse businesses. And my concern is if people had got BIA bucks turned in, what do those businesses do? We were at a huge loss. So again, I appreciate, as
Well, you
Brent
could
said,
still
that
turn them in at the town hall regardless. Like TD was for Christmas. You could still turn them in at town hall anyways.
town hall was not reimbursing. Town hall was only doing sales.
Anyway, that's
okay. Well,
Yeah.
Neither
move
here
on.
than there. We're moving forward. We have agreed that we all have the right verbiage here on the last page. We know how long an e-transfer will take. We know how long a check should take.
For all
each
of
business
that,
committee-
like that spreadsheet that she presented, can it be put on the website and emailed out to all the members so it's clear? Because I feel like a lot of the stuff isn't as clear as it used to be, because we used to put it all on the website, and I don't even feel like the website is updated enough with these programs and how to redeem things and that kind of stuff. So
Okay, well, we'll leave that with Trish to update, to have Justine and work with I'm not sure who does it, work with the girls in the office to have that program, and she'll send it out in the newsletter to all the businesses. And I know that Trish goes downtown and goes door to door quite often. So now that we all have the right verbiage, hopefully we can make this transition over the next week or so a little bit smoother for everybody.
yeah.
Anything else on the BIA dollars? Any more questions? Okay. Next board meeting, January 6th. I would love to say it's not going to be virtual. I'd love to say we're all going to meet for lunch and have a lunch one, but I am thinking not.
No.
So, and if Trish was sitting beside me, she'd probably be kicking me under the table right now too. So be a 7 o'clock Zoom. We all will assume at this point on.
Or
Seven or
do you want to
six.
do
Or, sorry,
6?
6 o'clock, pardon me.
Okay.
So I was looking at the clock up here at 6 till 7. Is there any other new business, anything else anybody wants to add before we sign off? Anything that we've,
I do. So I handed over the mitchellbia.ca domain to Trish. So I highly recommend that you guys recreate all those emails that you guys used to have and pay your host with the municipality to host that email, or at least forward it, because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of emails that come there that are directed at the BIA programs, community things that we had built over the years that are trying to contact that email. So I highly recommend you recreate that, and also point the mitchellbia.ca at the website and then start using it and promoting it, because I feel like that integration with the municipality, although it might be great for the municipality, the website stinks now and nothing's updated.
I'm the one that updates that, so
Great. So at least we got the name back.
It's not
That's good.
updated like I used to, and it's not updated, like it doesn't showcase the business members. It doesn't have updates for each individual business like we used to do. It doesn't have updates about the program. So Steve could have downloaded and found out that there was e-transfer instead of having to download this form and select a check and be confused about the process. Just everything that we used to do, I used to put on the website, and I feel like it's not there anymore.
Ah, looks like we got work to do.
I was just gonna say, we have work to do, things that we'll move towards at our AGM. Trish will make a note of that and take a look at it and see what we're missing. Trish has the sort of what you're talking about there, Brent, and she can do some comparative in her spare time, right, Trish? And we'll work towards that as a report, if not before, but definitely by our AGM, we'll hopefully have something where we can make that,
Great suggestion, Brent.
yeah, make that work a little smoother. Okay, anything else? All right. Motion to adjourn. Steve? Seconder? Anybody? Don't jump.
Come on, Bert. Come on, Bert.
Bert, thank you. All in favor?
My hand up a couple times.
You look like you were sleeping there, Bert.
I freeze
All
there
in
for a
favor,
minute.
so we are adjourned at 7:07, directors or whatever tonight, so.
Hang on.
Oh, I think